Hi there, my name is Chris Enders. I am a student at Athabasca, and I'm going to be walking you through my tutor-marked exercise number 3, which is a mobile application. So the game I'm going to be walking you through today is called Zombie Survival RPG. It doesn't really have a real title yet. It is an app I'm going to be bringing into the commercial world as soon as I'm finished. For the most part, it is complete. I think a lot of the content has to be improved a little, but as far as the game engine is concerned, it's 100% complete. Okay, so getting started. Code folder, any other Corona application, you find the main.lua script, and you right-click on that. You can go open with, and open it with your Chrome, or you can do that in reverse. Thank you, Windows. So let's try that now. So this game does have audio. I'm going to mute it as we go forward. It does have music, it does have sound effects. So, music, it'll still have sound effects. The point of Zombie Survival RPG is it is a decision-based, almost like choose-your-own-adventure style game where you escape a city post-zombie apocalypse. Like I said, it's very cliche. It's been done a million times before, but hey, I had to do it once. You start by beginning your character, so you get 3 character slots. I've also left the debug character or the debug options on in the game, so if you ever wanted to use a test character, just click down here. So let's start a new character. Because I'm using the computer and the simulator, I can't actually click in my name. If this was actually compiling on an Android, which is very easy to do, you can actually put your name in, etc. So I'm going to choose my avatar picture. It's pretty abstract. I'm going to begin my story. This is my character, and I'm going to continue. So most of the game plays out of your apartment room, which is this. I got to improve some of the graphics in here. But again, for the most part, it's basically done. These 2 buttons down here are debug buttons. Combat Sandbox will start combat and allow you to kind of go into a play area where you can basically simulate any type of combat if you want to play around with that, for testing, etc. We have all of our stats here. Health, psych, supplies. That's some of the 3 main, things you kind of have to worry about in the game. Health is your physical health. Psych is your mental health. You start to lose your mind if you start losing that. And supplies is obviously a big constraint. The big driver in this game is there's only so many days left before some apocalypse happens. So you need to escape the city by that many days, or before those many days are left. We start day 0. Every decision you make in the game will use up more of your days. So again, it really comes down to the decisions that you're going to make. The main menu is here. So this is like every morning we start our day here, and we choose what to do. Daydream basically just saves and goes back to the main character screen. Explore allows us to go into the exploration side of the game, which is, for the most part, most of the game. So in exploration, we see the city map in the background. These are all the locations in-game. You only explore them as you discover them. Now, we don't have enough time to go through all these locations, but I'll walk you through some. So let's start with this one. We don't really know anything about it. It's called the Dark Room. Yes, you start the game without any memory. Again, very cliche, I know. It's 0% explored, and we don't know anything about it, so we're going to hit explore. This is where the choose your own adventure comes in, and so there's a lot of narrative here. I think I'm going to slim this down before we go commercial with this, but for the most part it just kind of describes what just happened. So we just woke up, we're kind of trying to remember what the hell's going on. I picked up a new piece of equipment, and also I found 5 supplies, and they can either keep exploring or go home early. You can basically do 7 explores per day, so I'm going to keep exploring. I'm kind of going through my apartment. You can hear some dripping water sound effects. This is an example of a multiple choice, what I call encounter. So this one, we have a bit of a narrative here, and we have 2 options. We can drink from the faucet, or we can drink from the jugs of water. So I'm going to drink from the faucet. This is actually the bad choice to make. If I drank from the jugs of water, I would have gained more health. The faucet was actually pretty running water. I didn't really want to drink that. That's generally it. I'm going to keep exploring. It's basically walking me through my apartment right now. I'm finding pieces of equipment. I'm finding weapons. Kind of setting up the plot for the rest of the game. And so a lot of the sound effects actually were just recorded by me. So I just had a microphone. If I had to move keys or shuffle a book, etc., I would just kind of record those and put those in. Everything else is basically free common to use online, and there should be an attribution file. So I just finished going through my room. Now when I'm in exploration, I found a whole bunch of basic starter equipment and stuff, and we now have a better description of the room because now we know what it is. I've also unlocked a new location. So this is the hallway now, so I can basically explore there if I really wanted to. For now, I'm going to go back to my apartment. We can see that it is now day 1, not day 0. 1 day is gone. I gained a little bit of health, some supplies, etc. I have more options in the menu because I've unlocked that through the encounters that I just went through, that kind of like orientation. So I'll walk you quickly through the rest. Training is a main option. Right now there's only 3 training options. I've only discovered target practice, which allows me basically to hang out the window and shoot zombies in the head. Let's try that. So I've gained a couple skills. Windows. I've gained a couple skill in shooting. I've lost a day, lost some supplies, and I've lost some psych. It's, not great for your mental health to shoot people that used to be your friends in the head. So, and I keep training, etc. But again, the currency that's really important here in the game is time, and I keep using that up. So it's really going to come down to training enough that you have the skills to get through the harder areas. And I'll show you combat in a little bit. Versus spending too much time, and then you might not be able to escape the city in time. So that's training. We have rest. Rest is obviously something you want to avoid because it uses time, but it does heal you. So if I rest here, I've lost a day, but I've increased my health. You can find improvements as you continue through the game. Right now you start with just your bed, which you find in the first area. But you can find things like the power generator or a medical kit, etc. And what that does is allows you to heal faster every time you rest. So that will be important to find during exploration. Check supplies, pretty basic stuff. This shows you all the equipment that you can find in the game. And again, most are locked right now or hidden because we haven't found them. But we have found like the basic, hammer, and I found a pistol in that first room that we were exploring. And if you move the text, you can see the pictures beside it if you like. Look in mirror. So this is like your status screen for the RPG folks. Your skills and your stats. I've kind of combined them all into just 9 skills, and those are all covered here. And if you click on any one of them, it'll give you a description of the skill and also like a hint of how to use it best in the game. And finally, danger, we already knew about that. So, that's generally it. We can go back to Explorer. I can continue looking at the hallway. Eventually, from the hallway, I can almost unlock 4 other areas. There's, I think, 18 areas in total. I keep forgetting if it's 16 or 18. And the culmination of all of this exploration is, again, you want to find the right path out of the city, and there is multiple paths out of the city. Let's jump into the combat sandbox. Or perhaps we'll trigger combat normally. Yeah, let's go to Explorer, Hallway. There's a fixed encounter after we get out here that will start combat. Here it is. So we're just leaving our apartment room for the first time, and we ran into our first zombie. We have an option to attack now, sneak up, or back up. Back up, it brings us to the room. Sneak up does, there will be skill checks in the game that allow you to challenge skills, like your RPG skills, and if you fail, you could start combat, or if you succeed, you may be able to skip combat or something. This one always fails, though. I'm just trying to teach the player that, you can mess up some skill things. And attack now will basically start combat, but the zombie will be further away. So I'll start combat. So we're going to attack immediately, which means the zombie is going to be far apart. And here he comes. It is a placeholder graphic for this one. He looks kind of like a zombie, right? The art has to be improved. You basically click combat by clicking, or if you're using the name file, you'll just tap. And hear the gunshot off. If you click again, you switch between melee and ranged. If you click on the bag at the bottom of the screen, you kind of lift it up, and you can use either like a hammer or a pistol, change your weapons if you have them. We don't have it. You can also notice that we're being eaten right now, so there's some blood splatter on the screen. Very basic now. We want to start the player off with just a little bit of combat, but eventually there would be many different types of zombies. I think, how many did I put in here? Like 10 different types, including some ranged types, some that are fast but kind of weak. And really the strategy around combat is targeting your enemies appropriately, because all you have to do is click once, and you'll continue to target until they're dead. It's interesting. It'd be worth maybe going to the debug button. See, this one we survived. We got some supplies, and we're going to keep exploring, but I'm just going to go home. So I'm almost on day 4 now. You can tell my days are running fast. Combat sandbox, I'll go into there just because it'll trigger a pretty wild, or like a... Basically, we can do anything we want here. It starts us off with a bunch. Do we even have any weapons? No, so we're totally going to die here. That's fine. That's why I kind of wanted to show you. So we'll try to shoot some of them. They are going to eat us. They're going to eat us fast. Normally, I'd be trying to target the guys that can do me. Yeah. And then when they die, I'd go to the next target. As I die, I fall over and kind of blood comes down. Sorry if this isn't that PG, but I think you kind of get the hint. There's no permanent death in this game. You basically just lose your health, which is, pretty crappy in this game because now I have to rest and basically burn maybe possibly several days resting. So, obviously losing combat is something you want to avoid, and, if you lose too many times, you may not have enough time to escape the city. So that's generally it. I mean, you're going to spend a lot of time in exploration. Some of the game feedback that we've got from testers so far is, maybe too many words. So, I would say that, before we go to commercial, we might modify this game a little bit more. But for the most part, the engine is done. It just kind of needs tweaks and stuff like that. And that will come out of more testing and things like that. So we're hoping to go commercial probably by June or July, if I can get my act together. And that's basically it. So that's my tutor marked exercise 3, my mobile app. And again, you can always get a hold of me at Ender's Cave. That's ENDERSCAVE at gmail.com. And again, we'll be going commercial with our company, Fire Rabbit. Anyways, thanks a lot.